Welcome to the deep dive. Today we want to understand the criteria they used and, figure out why some absolute legends landed where they did.
It was a massive undertaking. I mean, defining greatness across 5 decades it's not easy. You're comparing an innovator from the 80s to an empire builder from today. You need some kind of objective metric.
So what were they? What were those five pillars they used to measure the joke?
Well, they needed a blend of, art, commerce, and cultural shift. So first up was the body of work and achievements.
Okay, so that's charted singles, certifications, the hard numbers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then second, and this is probably the subjective one, was cultural impact and influence,
How much they changed the game?
for sure. Third was longevity, which can penalize artists with, shorter but brilliant careers. And finally, the pure technical skills, lyrics and flow.
I see. So it's not just a sales contest, but it's not purely a lyrical battle either. And we should probably mention the limitations right up front because they tell you a lot.
Oh, absolutely. The list was strictly for North American artists.
Which is why a foundational storyteller like the British-American MC Slick Rick, he's not on it.
He's not on it. Tough call, but that was the rule. And they also specifically excluded reggaeton and dancehall MCs to keep the focus really, really narrow on the trajectory of hip-hop as it developed in North America.
Okay, so with that framework, let's go back to the beginning. Let's talk about the pioneers, the people who proved this genre was even viable. We can start with Curtis Blow, who comes in at number 23.
Yeah, Curtis Blow set a crucial standard in the late 70s, early 80s. He was the first rapper ever signed to a major label.
That alone is history.
It is. And then his track, The Breaks, earned the...
Crime was concentrated in the 80s. His individual score for body of work is just lower.
It has to be, by their metrics.
And Mel at 48 is also, it's fascinating. Before him, rap was mostly party chants, right? That whole yes, yes, y'all phase.
Right. And then the message drops in 1982. The source material calls that single hip-hop's seismic go-it recording. It introduced this vivid, complex picture of the ghetto.
It fundamentally changed what rap could be.
It totally did. It went from background party music to vital social commentary.
And that evolution continues so dramatically with someone like KRS-One at 24. His whole identity shifts from the blast master to the teacher after his DJ, Scott LaRock, was murdered.
That event was a catalyst for him. He just pivoted entirely to socially conscious rap, leading the Stop the Violence movement. But at the same time, he's absolutely battle-tested. His diss track, The Bridge Is Over, is still a masterclass.
Okay, so a huge part of this evolution also involves the work of female MCs. And their inclusion here really shows that being the Jua is about more than just technical skill. It's about shattering barriers.
You see that right away with MC Lyte at 27. She came out at 16 years old with I Crammed Understand Ya Sam and just bum rushed the boys club.
The original queen of rap.
Totally. Just pure lyrical skill and confidence. And then you have Queen Latifah at 44, who delivered the black feminist anthem Ladies First. But the criteria really rewards her for her crossover women in the genre, and she had huge commercial success.
She was the first female rapper with 3 straight #1s on the Hot Rap Songs chart.
Yeah, and then there's the incomparable Lauryn Hill at number 30. Even with a pretty limited solo catalog, her influence is just peerless.
First female rapper to top the Hot 100 with a solo song, Doo-Wop, that thing. And the miseducation of Lauryn Hill just swept the Grammys.
What's so crucial to understand with them is that just being great wasn't enough. They had to be great and break down some profound boundary, whether it was about image, politics, or just commercial milestones. The bar was just higher.
Let's shift a bit to regional sounds, because once the West Coast and the South really exploded, the whole landscape of hip-hop just broadened immensely. You've got Ice-T at 45 and Dr. Dre at 40 holding it down for the West.
Ice-T's track 6 in the Morning in 1986 basically stamped the West Coast on the hip-hop map. It set the whole framework for gangsta rap.
But this is where the criteria gets a little murky again. Dr. Dre is at 40, and the source even notes he's not a traditional MC. So how does a ranking system that prioritizes lyrics and flow justify including a producer like Dre?
Yeah, that's that tension between the pillars, right? In Dre's case, his cultural impact is so astronomical it outweighs the other stuff. He anchored 3 era-defining albums, NWA's Straight Outta Compton, The Chronic, 2001.
He was an architect of the sound.
Exactly. His influence on G-Funk and on nurturing talent was just too massive to ignore. The criteria had to make an exception for him.
That makes sense. Then you have someone like E40 at 41 who shows how viable regional scenes can be. He's got one of the deepest catalogs out there, 18 top 10s on the top rap albums chart.
And he brought the Bay Area to the mainstream. He was the face of that whole hi-fi movement. E40 really embodied that independent hustle.
And the South, of course, gave us trap. T.I. at number 32 is called one of Trap's forefathers with his album Trap Music in 2003. He defined the sound.
And you can contrast T.I.'s foundational role with someone like Future, who's at 35. They call him rap's toxic king, but his commercial relevance is staggering.
His 2015 mixtape run was legendary.
Yeah, with Monster and DS2.
Okay.
But the craziest metric is that in 2022, he was the only artist on the Hot 100 every single week for the entire year.
Wow. That's modern consistency.
Unmatched.
So moving from regional sounds to just, sheer technical mastery, let's talk about the pure lyricists who scored high just based on their craft. I'm thinking of Rakim at 13.
Rakim is the source code for modern rapping. It's that simple. Before him, flows were much more basic. Rakim pioneered using internal and multisyllabic rhymes.
So instead of just rhyming at the end of the line, he's weaving these complex patterns inside the verse.
Right, he basically turned rapping into a lyrical crossword puzzle. He just raised the difficulty level for everyone who came after him.
And then there's Black Thought at 28, co-founder of The Roots. Listening to him is like enrolling in a masterclass on lyricism.
And what's so rare is that he's still getting more polished. Since 1993, he has just consistently sharpened his craft, which is why he's ranked so high without maybe having the huge pop hits some others do.
And we can't forget Big Pun at number 26, the first Latino solo rap act to sell over 1 million copies with capital punishment.
Expert wordplay, amazing storytelling, and he could craft those catchy hooks. He was a force, in his tragically short career. He's a perfect example of where the sheer quality and impact of the work just overrides the longevity criteria.
Okay, let's do it. Let's jump into the elite, the upper echelon, the top 10. This is where every single ranking decision is going to get scrutinized. We start with the modern queen of rap, Nicki Minaj, at number 10.
And she earned that crown. Her versatility is defined by those animated flows and all the older egos like Roman Zelensky, but her achievement score is just immense.
She's one of only a dozen artists with more than 100 Billboard Hot 100 entries.
That puts her in a category with pop titans, not just rappers. It's incredible.
At number 9, Snoop Dogg, the founding father of G-Funk. His laid-back flow just defined an entire era, but his versatility is huge.
Oh, for sure. From the perfection of Doggy Style to his reggae phase as Snoop Lion, a gospel album, and then that full circle moment of buying Death Row Records in 2022.
He's more than just an MC at that point. He's a cultural institution.
Then at number 8, you have Drake. His commercial streak is just impenetrable. He's the Hot 100's all-time hits leader with nearly 300 entries.
His success really comes from that ability to just swerve between genres, mixing the crooning with really sharp, spiky bars.
And releasing generation-defining albums like Take Care. Then, number 7, Lil Wayne. A masterful lyricist who just wields words like swords, especially during that mixtape run.
He basically redefined how music was even distributed. And beyond his own work, he fostered the careers of Drake and Nicki Minaj through Young Money.
And that's the ultimate test of cultural impact, isn't it? Fostering the next generation of Jew-8 contenders. What's fascinating is this shift here. We go from these modern commercial giants
World record for fastest rap on a hit single with Godzilla.
and his story, from 8 Mile, is about being a white rapper in a primarily black genre, but his technical brilliance just forced everyone to accept him.
Tupac comes in at number 4, and he wasn't maybe the most technically complex lyricist, but he was the ultimate polymath. A poet, an actor, an activist.
He had this incredible duality. You have empathetic classics like Dear Mama, which is in the Library of Congress.
And then you have explosive anthems like Hit 'Em Up. He just connected emotionally in a way that very few others could.
His voice just resonated globally.
Moving to the podium, Nas is at number 3, the chosen one since he was a teenager on Main Source's Live at the Barbic. His album Illmatic is just. It's often called the Holy Bible for lyricists.
It's an undisputed classic. And his ranking also reflects his resiliency. He scored that TKO against Jay-Z with Ether, and he showed incredible longevity by winning his first Grammy recently for his King's Disease series. The mastery is still there.
And then taking the number 2 spot, Kendrick Lamar, the consensus best rapper of his generation. He's known for fearless experimentation. I mean, To Pimp a Butterfly was a jazz album, basically.
But the key thing is his album Damn, winning the 2018 Pulitzer Prize for Music.
The first non-jazz or classical work ever to do so. That's a level of critical significance that just transcends hip-hop.
The Pulitzer fundamentally reclassified hip-hop as a foundational American art form. It's hard to argue with that kind of impact.
Okay, so we have Nas, the lyrical holy Bible, Kendrick, the Pulitzer winner, Biggie, the perfect tragic legacy. What criteria pushed Jay-Z to the very top?
Financial, commercial, and artistic dominance over the longest period of time.
So the takeaway really is that Jay-Z wins the Joe 8 title, not necessarily by rapping better than Nas in a single verse, but by proving modern rap success is defined by the entire empire, not just the art.
And that tension between art, achievement, and public life is perfectly crystallized by the artist just outside the top 10. Kanye West or Ye at number 11.
His artistic output, especially albums like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, was just remarkable. His rise from producer to artist hit every single one of their criteria.
But his ranking at 11 really highlights the tough spot the editors were in. They had to weigh that artistic genius against the divisive social and political commentary that came later.
Things like the slavery is a choice remarks. So that forces the question of how you score cultural impact. Does the brilliant art overcome the negative cultural repercussions of the artist's actions?
Precisely. And the ranking seems to suggest that while his artistic achievement gets him into that elite tier, the negative cultural impact and the sort of disruption of his own longevity kept him from reaching that ultimate upper echelon.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? We've learned that greatness in hip hop is this complex, multifaceted equation. It's a combination of lyrical skill, commercial dominance, genre evolution, and, ultimately empire building.
This list is a rich history. It shows the path from Curtis Blow selling the first gold single all the way to Jay-Z running billion-dollar enterprises and Kendrick Lamar winning a Pulitzer. The criteria shifts as the genre itself matures.
So as you look at this incredible roster, think about what aspect of a rapper's career you personally weight most heavily when you answer the Joe AT question for yourself. Is it the purity of that initial classic album, the lyrical perfection of Nas's Illmatic? Is it the fearless, genre-bending evolution that led to a Pulitzer, like Kendrick Lamar? Or is it the three-decade cultural and financial dominance that Jay-Z exemplifies? That's the question this list really forces you to answer.